Your phone is face down on the table. You told yourself you wouldn't touch it for an hour. 40 seconds pass. Your hand moves before your brain gives permission. You didn't decide to check it. Something older than decision made that choice for you. This isn't weakness. It's a 200,000-year-old survival system running on hardware it was never built for. Your brain did not evolve to resist notifications. It evolved to scan. For almost the entire span of human existence, your ancestors lifted their heads and checked the horizon. Was that rustle in the grass a predator? Checking wasn't a habit. It was the price of staying alive. A predator only needs to succeed once. A human needs to survive every time. So evolution built a brain that would rather check 1,000 times for nothing than fail to check the one time it mattered. Your phone found that wiring already installed and gave it a new target. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran an experiment with pigeons and a lever. Pigeons that got food every time they pressed it eventually stopped, once they were full. But pigeons that got food only sometimes, unpredictably, never stopped pressing. Skinner called it a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. You might know it by a simpler name. It's the mechanism behind a slot machine. Every time you unlock your phone, you don't know what you'll get. A message that matters? Nothing at all. That uncertainty isn't an accident. It's the most addictive pattern known to behavioral science, sitting quietly in your pocket. But why does uncertainty feel so magnetic? In the 1990s, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz studied dopamine in monkeys and found something that overturned decades of assumption. Dopamine didn't spike hardest when the reward arrived. It spiked hardest in the moment right before, when the outcome was still unknown. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's about anticipation. It's the chemical of maybe. You're not addicted to your phone. You're addicted to the half-second of unresolved possibility right before the screen lights up. There's a third thread. Maybe the oldest one. Your ancestors didn't just scan for danger, they scanned each other for information. An anthropologist named Robin Dunbar spent years studying primate groups and concluded that gossip wasn't idle chatter. It was survival infrastructure. Knowing who was trustworthy, who had shifted alliances, kept the group alive. Missing that information could mean missing a warning. Your brain still runs that same social radar. Except now the tribe isn't 40 people around a fire. It's thousands, scattered across a screen. What did they say? Am I missing something the group already knows? Put these three threads together. A brain built to scan for danger. A reward system that craves unpredictability. A social instinct that can't tell the difference between a real tribe and a notification badge. None of these systems know what a smartphone is. They only know their job. Your phone simply became the most efficient target they've ever been given. This is why willpower alone rarely works. You aren't fighting laziness. You're fighting three ancient mechanisms, each older than language, each still convinced it's protecting you. So what happens once you understand this? The urge doesn't disappear, but it loses some of its grip. You start to notice the twitch in your hand before you act on it. You start to see the badge on your screen for what it is. Not a message from your tribe. A red dot exploiting a habit that kept your ancestors alive on a savanna they left 300,000 years ago. There's relief in this. You are not weak. You are running the most successful survival software ever built in a world that has learned to hijack it, on purpose, at scale. Understanding that doesn't excuse the behavior, but it explains it. An explanation is where real change starts. Consider what your ancestors would think if they could see you now, standing in a warm, safe room. No predators nearby, and still, every few minutes, lifting a small glowing rectangle to check if anything has changed. To them, it might look absurd. To you, it feels involuntary. Both of you would be right because it was never built for this. You don't need to defeat this instinct. You need to see it clearly. Every time your hand reaches for the phone unprompted, that isn't a modern failure. That's a 200,000-year-old sentinel still on duty, still scanning a horizon that no longer holds any lions. And maybe that's worth a little compassion, because the next time your phone is face down on the table and your hand moves before your mind decides, you'll know exactly what just happened. Something ancient looked up. Something ancient checked the horizon. It just happens to live inside you now, forever mistaking a notification for a lion.